Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, November 17th to Friday, November 21st, 25. Hayley is caught, and Kat goes low. Next week, we start with a scene in a hotel bedroom. Dany and Andre have finally made it to their honeymoon, and the couple is so in love. Andre makes a toast to his wife, telling her that he loves her, and Dany tells him right back that she loves him too. Smiling, they clink glasses in celebration. Vernon and Anita are at the Fairmont Crest Country Club for a meal when Anita asks Vernon if he's going to divulge his secret or if he's going to make him guess. Anita reminds Vernon how vivid her imagination can be, to which Vernon replies, "Not as much as Leslie's. More factual words have not been spoken." And Vernon has more than just one secret to hide, it appears. Leslie appears in Ted's office at the hospital, telling him that she had nowhere else to turn. Looking desperate is a ploy Leslie often uses, and Ted has his suspicions. Ted tells Leslie that he thinks she just walks around dropping matches and acts surprised when a fire starts. What a great line and so true! What is this next plot or scheme, and which of the Duprees is going to fall afoul of it this time? The teasers say Leslie is going to extort another Dupree. In one of the more horrid sets of dialogue thus far, we have Kat and Eva, the warring sisters at Uptown. Kat is on a rant and tells Eva that she wishes that her mom had gotten rid of her, and they all would be living their best lives if she had never been born. Ouch! That's got to be the most hurtful thing from Kat's mouth ever. This is going to set things off for sure. Will we ever see a cat fight here? See what I did? Back at the offices of Bill Hamilton Esq, Hayley is about to drop some more of her poison into Bill's cup, and as she does this, she starts singing, "One small drop for Bill, and one giant leap closer to a $10 million payout for Hayley." Just as she finishes her little song and dance, Naomi walks into the office. This should be good. What will Naomi have overheard, if anything? Hopefully, all of it. "Hey, babes! Welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama." Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, November 14th suggest that time is not on Hayley Hamilton's side when it comes to her lies, and Leslie Thomas schemes her way into Winterfest. The walls will continue to close in on Hayley, as it sounds like Joey Armstrong will once again catch Randy Parker in a lie and call him out on it. Joey can sense something is very off between Hayley and Randy, and knowing the casino owner, it'll only be a matter of time before he figures out the truth. From the looks of it, Randy will likely continue lying to Joey about the nature of his relationship with Hayley, and the fact that they are cousins. But Joey won't be the only one doubting Hayley during the November 14th episode. Hayley and Bill Hamilton will have a double date with Naomi Hawthorne and Jacob Hawthorne, and an incident will cause a little drama. It sounds like Naomi will be shocked when she realizes Hayley is keeping a secret from her dad. What will Naomi discover? Regardless, Hayley is living on borrowed time at this point, as she has many within the land of Fairmont Crest doubting her. Back to Joey, his gal pal, Vanessa McBride, will have Doug McBride on the brain. It sounds like she and Nicole Dupree will meet up, and the topic will turn to a chat about their marriages. Whatever is said during this conversation will push Vanessa to help out a friend, but what exactly will she do to add the assist, and will Joey approve? Across town. Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Friday, November 14th suggest that Leslie will place Anita Dupree in a difficult position. It sounds like Leslie will weasel her way into Winterfest, some way or another. This is interesting, since Laura Peterson is the person running the event for Anita, and Leslie ran her over, so how comfortable will the assistant feel with Leslie's involvement? Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest plenty of chaos and drama during Friday's show, so fans need to tune in to watch everything unfold. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, November 14th confirm that Naomi and Jacob are stunned. Meanwhile, Anita is forced to placate Leslie, and more. Read on as soap opera news breaks it all down. What starts as a pleasant evening may take a shocking turn when Naomi and Jacob sit down to dinner with Bill and Hayley. At first, it's just casual conversation, but soon the couple begins to notice something that grabs their attention. A sudden revelation, or maybe something they see or overhear, leaves Naomi and Jacob completely stunned. According to spoilers, they make a startling discovery during the dinner date. But what could it be? Meanwhile, Joey is growing more and more suspicious of Randy, especially after catching him red-handed. This time, Joey catches Randy in a lie and demands the truth. The question is, can Randy come up with answers fast enough to throw Joey off his trail? Beyond the Gates spoilers for November 14th also tease that Anita is forced to placate Leslie. Leslie isn't exactly easy to please, and Anita knows just what kind of person she's dealing with. Still, she has to do what she's got to do, especially if she wants to keep Leslie in check. Elsewhere, Vanessa finds herself thinking about Doug, which leads her to step up and help a friend. But who could this friend be? Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, November 13th hint that Dany Dupree will officially ditch her Forrester Creations shoot, while Derek Baldwin has a steamy encounter with someone who is not Ashley Morgan. During the Wednesday, November 12th show, Dany and Andre Richardson were on the cusp of leaving Fairmont Crest for Los Angeles to embark on their Forrester Creations ad campaign shoot. The Bold and the Beautiful's Ridge, Forrester wanted Dany to act as a spokesperson, but the only stipulation was that her hubby be included. Andre was very hesitant and initially said no, but Pamela Curtis had a talk with him alone and placed some pressure on the man, and he agreed. Dany will explain during Thursday's show that she could tell Andre's heart wasn't in this, and she'll cancel the photo shoot, despite Pamela trying to convince her otherwise. With that said, Dany and Andre will pivot, and instead of wasting a trip to LA, they'll turn it into their honeymoon. Speaking of Dany, her parents will continue to have underlying issues. Vernon Dupree is keeping his secret meetings with fellow articulette Sharon Winger, a secret from Anita Dupree, and it sounds like something will happen during the November 13th show to risk exposing this. What are he and Sharon really up to? In other news, Ted Richardson will have a request for Nicole Dupree. While she'll grant what he's asking, she'll also offer up a warning about repercussions to this request. What does Ted want from Nicole now? Meanwhile, BTG spoilers for November 13th tease that Catherine "Cat" Richardson and Bradley "Smitty" Smith will have an awkward run-in. Things are rocky between Cat and Smitty's hubby, Martin Richardson, thanks to Samantha Richardson. The dads recently found their teen daughter making out on the family's couch with a boy she's barely dating, and when she was confronted about it, she pointed to Cat, talking about her encounters with Tomas Navarro. It was also recently discovered that Cat caught Samantha making out with Nathan and didn't say anything, so Martin had a major confrontation with his sister about this and pointed the finger of blame. Now, Cat's mad at Martin and Martin is mad at Cat, so can Smitty smooth things over between the two siblings? Finally, Derek will have a steamy encounter with someone new, who will also be a firefighter colleague. Wow! Derek doesn't mess around when it comes to moving on from Ashley, right? So, who will this new woman be? Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Thursday's show suggest it'll be jam-packed with drama, romance, and some heated confrontations, so fans won't want to miss the must-see episode. Lies unravel, tempers flare, and dinner turns disastrous on Beyond the Gates. On the Friday, November 14th episode of Beyond the Gates, Joey catches Randy in a lie and demands answers. Meanwhile, Anita and Leslie go toe-to-toe again. Unfortunately for Anita, she's forced to placate Leslie. Additionally, there's a double date scheduled involving Jacob, Naomi, Bill, and Hayley. What could go wrong? Randy is already on thin ice with Joey, having failed spectacularly at previous orders, then hiding out until the smoke cleared. More recently, Randy lied and told Joey that his association with Bill Hamilton's bride, Hayley, was of a sexual nature. When Hayley found out, she first threw up a little in her mouth, and then she forced Randy to go to Joey and change his story. That's when he told his boss about taking Hayley to the hospital when she miscarried the baby. Weekly teasers reveal that Joey catches Randy in a lie and demands answers. What did Joey dig up, and how will Randy get himself out of this one? Speaking of tight spots, Anita finds herself in one, and of course, it has to do with Leslie. Thanks to Anita setting up that trust, Leslie is spending the money from the trust freely. The woman isn't holding back. Let's reflect on the woman's bigger ticket purchases. In addition, Leslie isn't afraid to ask Anita to tell her about Barbara, the original articulette, who was Leslie's biological mother. So why is Anita forced to placate Leslie once again? Is this about the upcoming Winterfest that Anita is planning? On Friday, look for Vanessa to think about Doug, which spurs her to help out a friend. And in other news, there's a double dinner date that has a good chance of being hella awkward on multiple levels. Naomi and Jacob discover something startling during their dinner date with Bill and Hayley. Naomi wants her parents to be happy, which is why she is suddenly accepting Dany and Andre. And while it's hard to do the same with Bill and Hayley, she's giving it an effort. But what is it that she and Jacob start to notice, and what will they do about it? Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, November 14th, indicate that Hayley Hamilton will be cornered, while Anita Dupree is placed in a difficult position. Plus, Vanessa McBride will come to someone's rescue. Find out more about what is set to unfold during Friday's show below. Anita under pressure. Leslie's meltdown forces Anita Dupree into peacemaker mode, an encounter that could turn enemies into uneasy allies. Vanessa answers the call. Memories of Doug nudge Vanessa McBride to rescue a struggling friend, even as her future with Joey stays in focus. Hayley cornered from all sides. Joey Armstrong catches Hayley and Randy in another lie, and a tense double date with the Hawthorns leads to a shocking discovery about Hayley, hinting at either her crush on Isaiah or something far darker. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, November 14th, hint that Anita will be placed in a tough position, thanks to Leslie Thomas. It seems like Leslie will react to a situation and spiral, and the Dupree matriarch will be the only person around to calm her down. Could the encounter turn these rivals into friends? Across town, Doug McBride will enter Vanessa's thoughts, which will spark her to help out a friend in need. Doug has been gone for a very long time. However, Vanessa has managed to move on with her life, especially where her romance with Joey Armstrong is concerned. What triggers Vanessa to remember her late husband, and who will need her assistance? BTG fans will have to tune in to find out. Speaking of Joey, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday hint that the casino owner will once again catch Hayley Hamilton and Randy Parker in a lie and demand answers. It looks like the cousins will get caught together. So will Randy tell Joey the truth? Meanwhile, that won't be the only walls closing in on Hayley. She and Bill Hamilton will have a double-date dinner with Naomi Hawthorne and Jacob Hawthorne, and things will turn from awkward to shocking. Added BTG teasers imply that the Hawthorns will make a stunning discovery where Hayley is concerned. So will they notice Hayley's crush on Isaiah Hawthorne, or could they pick up on her poisoning Bill? What storyline are you most looking forward to during Friday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Celebrating the Soaps for all the latest Beyond the Gates spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. Here's what went down Thursday, November 13th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates, when Shanice and Naomi managed Ashley, Kat had an ally in Smitty, and Leslie played the multi-million-dollar pyramid. On Beyond the Gates, Anita signed autographs at the hospital after she had finished having a physical. Nicole was surprised to see her mom, but was none too pleased that Anita had been too busy to keep up with her medical care until then. Mother and daughter talked about how Laura had stepped up helping out with Winterfest and presumed the extra work she was doing was to thank the family for rallying behind her after her accident. Anita sighed that they all knew who had caused it, even if there hadn't been enough evidence to pin on Leslie. Vernon met Sharon at Uptown, where the singer worried about a woman at the bar staring at them. Mr. Dupree recognized the lady as a staffer who had worked in the Capitol when he was a senator. He knew she didn't travel in the same social circles and wasn't worried about her blabbing to Anita that she had seen him with Sharon. After telling Vernon he looked all fine and whatnot, she suggested that it was still early and that they could head back to her hotel so she could show him something they had been talking about. Vernon thought that would be too suspicious, but told Sharon he'd see her the next day. She handed him a pair of his cufflinks, which he had left on her dresser. Anita greeted the returning Vernon and reported that she had been given a clean bill of health. When Vernon smiled that the news was music to his ears, Anita hoped that didn't mean he was going to sing to her again. The matriarch suddenly noticed that Vernon smelled of perfume, but she didn't mention it further and went into the preparations for Winterfest. Then, Anita noticed that Vernon was wearing the cufflinks that she had given him when he'd started out in the Senate, remarking that he hadn't worn them for a while. Vernon replied that he liked to cycle through the others, but that he always came back to his favorite. Kat saw Martin at the hospital cafeteria and tried to turn away before he could see her, but the reporter noticed her presence and said that it was Samantha who was being punished, not Kat. When Smitty hinted that he had gotten Martin to relent about pulling Samantha out of Chelsea Kat commented that Smitty had always been the angel on Martin's shoulder. Things were still as they had been when they were kids, Kat shared. Kat would apologize for a perceived wrong, but Martin would hold a grudge. She didn't want to apologize just to keep the peace this time, not with Martin nor with Tomas. As Kat shrugged that Tomas didn't understand her and was always pushing her to accept Eva, Smitty felt that both Tomas and Martin had points and that perhaps Kat should further own her part in her disagreements. Ted continued his chat with Leslie, Eva, and Jan at the country club, with Leslie saying she was glad to help Ted's patient financially. Leslie then spoke of how she was funding the Leslie Thomas Sports Complex at Fairmont Crest, and she and Ted got into a discussion about how she had been able to see the Harlem Globetrotters when she was little. Their favorite player was Meadowlark Lemon. Jan made a graceful escape, but Eva followed her out, begging her to stay. Jan figured out that Eva wanted her to be a buffer between Leslie and Ted. Though Eva reiterated that Leslie was only using her newfound friendship with Ted to make romantic inroads, Jan said that Ted would have to be willing. If he wasn't, Eva had nothing to worry about. Eva reluctantly went back to the table, where her parents were discussing Leslie possibly donating to the NAACP or the United Negro College Fund. Talk turned to Winterfest. When Leslie heard that it was being put on in memory of Barbara, she was surprised that, since Barbara had been her biological mother, no one had told her about it. Leslie wondered if Ted would be in attendance, given his divorce from Nicole, and Ted said he wouldn't miss it before departing. "Don't," Eva warned, correctly predicting that Leslie was thinking of getting involved with Winterfest. Leslie got tired of Eva lecturing her, but admitted that Ted wasn't her only motivating factor for the move. It would neutralize the Fairmont Crest naysayers who hated her for being new money. "Nobody in this club has money older than emancipation, Mama," Eva said, rolling her eyes and adding that the community's residents really hated Leslie for tearing down a home and building a new one across the street from the Duprees just to annoy them. Leslie's reason for wanting to take part in Winterfest was simple. Like in their old neighborhood, she explained to Eva, there was a social pecking order that had a pyramid structure, and it was important to know was at the top and align oneself with them. Ted visited Nicole for updates about Winterfest and announced that he would be bringing Eva as his +1. Nicole was fine with that, but was certain that Kat was going to have an extremely negative reaction. Ted wasn't unmindful of Kat's feelings, but he wasn't going to ignore one daughter for the sake of the other and said that loving Eva didn't mean he loved Kat any less. Nicole was glad to see that Eva had one sane parent. Derek's friends and co-workers at the fire station, Liam and Cheryl, came by to help move the rest of Derek's belongings out of Ashley's apartment. Both firefighters were sorry to hear that Ashley had broken up with Derek. He reckoned that some things just weren't meant to me. Cheryl stayed behind while Liam took a box to his truck and assured Derek that he was strong and would get over the breakup. Then she let him know that he didn't have to go through it alone and kissed him. Things were beginning to get passionate when Derek stopped himself, realizing it was wrong to be making out with another woman in his ex's apartment. Cheryl took that to mean Derek was still in love with Ashley. He conceded that he was, and that he wasn't ready to move on with someone new. Cheryl was disappointed, but she understood. Naomi went to the hospital to deliver Derek's key to Ashley, who wanted to know how Derek was taking things. After Naomi spat that Ashley shouldn't feel sorry for Derek, Ashley owned that fact that she hadn't been forthcoming about her lingering feelings for Andre. Shanice overheard and agreed with Naomi that Ashley had a soft heart. She needed to stick to her guns now that she had ended things with Derek. Plus, though Shanice liked Derek, she promised to honor the girl code and not pursue him herself. Naomi and Shanice plotted to keep Ashley busy and invented ways that she could avoid Derek, who would still be coming to Garland for physical therapy. Ashley reluctantly accepted when Naomi wanted to take her out to lunch, and Shanice declared that Ashley needed to take care of herself because she was no good to her patients while she was distracted. At the airport, Andre couldn't understand why Dany was canceling their trip. Dany, who had taken care of matters with Ridge from Forrester Creations, showed Andre the selfie he had sent her and cited it as the reason for the change in plans. She could see in Andre's eyes that going to LA to model was the last thing he wanted to do. Andre tried to play it off, but Dany wouldn't allow his evasion, pointing out that he had twice referred to a risk he was taking by doing the shoot. Andre admitted he had never warmed to the idea, but had consented because Pamela had been so vehement about how important the Forrester campaign was to Dany. Yet, his years behind the camera had taught him that some people had riz, while others didn't, and he definitely didn't. If he posed for the ads with Dany, the shoot would bomb, and it would be Dany who would be blamed for coming out of retirement when she should have stayed gone. Dany was humbled that Andre cared so much about her and deduced that his concern had been why he'd spent so many nights tossing and turning. "Yeah, something like that," Andre replied. Andre said they still had time to get to LA and was even willing to task his own pilot with flying them there, but Dany decided that giving up the gig was something that she could do for her husband. Andre was shocked to watch Dany getting into an argument with Pamela over the phone concerning the cancellation. The newlyweds realized that, just because they weren't doing a photo shoot, it didn't mean they had to give up the honeymoon portion of their trip. After considering Rio de Janeiro, Miami, and Dubai, they remembered that they had already made multiple reservations at LA hotels and hotspots. Given Dany's gushing review of the city, Andre was ready to get on a plane and rolled their suitcases behind her. Decisions, secrets, and new sparks shake things up in Beyond the Gates, and one couple's future may be about to change forever. On the Thursday, November 13th episode of Beyond the Gates, Dany and Andre make a decision about their future. Meanwhile, Vernon's afraid his secret may be discovered. Also, flames ignite between Derek and a coworker. This latest D'Andre teaser is a bit of a concerning development. Just when you think the two have committed to the marriage, they do something unexpected. They remain the most unpredictable couple on BTG, but they are also, strangely, one of the most solid couples right now. However, there's a chance that might be changing. Apparently, Dany and Andre are set to make a decision about their future. Hopefully, this is about something harmless and not anything world-ending, because they have photo shoots to work together and honeymoons to experience. Vernon is up to something. So far, he has kept his meetings with Articulate Sharon hidden. But something must happen because he suddenly feels his secret may be found out. We still don't know what these private meetings are all about, but we watch the BTG weekly video preview. Vernon meeting Sharon at Uptown, even in a booth in the back, isn't smart if the retired senator wants to keep things on the down low. The weekly teasers reveal Nicole granting a request from her ex, but warns that his actions will have consequences. What request does Ted make? And is it related to his recent difficulty with Kat and his closeness with Eva? Something tells us Ted is about to make things worse before they get better. Meanwhile, look for Kat to have an awkward run-in with Smitty, her brother-in-law. They haven't discussed Samantha overhearing her racy gush about Tomas yet, or Martin going off on her. How awkward does it get between these two, and will they be able to talk it out? Derek has been dealing with his relationship imploding and the fact that he is no longer marrying the person he considers the love of his life. He has turned to Shanice for support, but he's about to experience a different distraction. When flames ignite between Derek and a coworker, this could literally be about an actual fire. Or this could be about sparks of the romantic kind. Could Derek get a sign that it's time to move on? Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, November 13th, reveal some interesting moments in the land of Fairmont Crest. Dany Dupree and Andre Richardson make a decision about their future, while Nicole Dupree gives the green light on a request. Plus, Derek Baldwin has a heated encounter, Find out more about what is set to unfold during Thursday's show below. Dany and Andre define their future, and it points to a honeymoon, while Vernon's secret with Sharon teeters on exposure. Nicole says yes with warnings attached, greenlighting a request that likely ties back to Ted and potential fallout. Derek turns up the heat with a colleague, as Smitty's awkward run-in with Kat hints at fresh Richardson family drama. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, November 13th, suggest that Dany and Andre make a decision about their future. BTG fans get a sense that this might not mean doom and gloom for the couple, as this week's preview shows the two heading out on their honeymoon. So what exactly brings them to this decision? And more importantly, where are they going? In somewhat related news, Vernon Dupree is keeping a secret from Anita Dupree. However, during the Thursday show, he risks this secret coming out. What exactly is he and Sharon Winger up to? Across town, Nicole will say yes to a request, which is good news, but the bad news is that she'll warn whoever she's helping that repercussions could follow. This sounds like it has Ted Richardson written all over it, so what will Ted ask Nicole for? Meanwhile, Beyond the Gate spoilers for Thursday indicate that Derek will turn up the heat with someone new, and it looks like it'll be a colleague of his. Added teasers note that Derek's encounter will not take place with Shanice Johnson, so she can be crossed off the list of possible people that Derek gets steamy with. Last but not least, Bradley Smitty Smith has a run-in with Catherine Kat Richardson, and it'll be awkward. But will it get ugly? Smitty has been far more sensible than Martin Richardson about Samantha Richardson's situation, so he may not be as harsh towards Kat when he sees her. Will she give him the same grace? Kat feels as if she's backed up against a wall where her family is concerned, so here's hoping Smitty can help smooth things over. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Thursday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Celebrating the Soaps for all the latest Beyond the Gates spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. Picking up where yesterday's episode left off, Dany explains to Andre that he's why she canceled the Forrester Creations shoot. She points out that he has repeatedly talked about the risk of the shoot, and he eventually agrees to tell her the truth. He's afraid he's going to look like a zebra in a hippo family and ruin her comeback. Fully understanding, Dany stands by his decision and cancels the trip to Los Angeles. She suggests that since they are already at the airport, they pick a destination and start their honeymoon. After considering several destinations, they settle on going to Los Angeles, despite having ditched the shoot. Eva can barely suppress an epic eye roll as she watches Ted and Leslie form a mutual admiration society. Jan beats a hasty retreat as talk turns to basketball, privately telling Eva that Leslie can only make progress with Ted if he allows it. Meanwhile, Leslie finds out about Winterfest and fishes for an invite from Ted which doesn't come. Eva tries getting her mom to think about other charities, but it's immediately clear Leslie is going to horn in on Anita's event. Ted later tells Nicole that he wants to invite Eva as his +1 to Winterfest. His ex points out this will not go down well with Kat. Ted's response is, in essence, tough. She'll have to deal with it. Vernon and Sharon have their latest hush-hush get-together at Uptown. Hard as the writers are trying to convince us Vernon's cheating, I'm pretty sure the twosome are rehearsing a musical number for Winterfest 20. Derek gets help from fellow firefighters, Liam and Sherry, in moving his stuff out of Ashley's apartment. Sherry arranges to be alone with Derek for a moment and says he doesn't necessarily have to get through this tough time alone. Proving it, she pulls him into a kiss. Derek, however, pulls away, admitting he's still in love with Ashley. Beyond the Gates Daily YAP for Thursday, November 13th. Derek and Cheryl make the sparks fly. Welcome to the Beyond the Gates Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Well, we got Ashley trying to take ownership for her part in the breakup with Derek, and Shanice and Naomi doing their best to subvert that and have Ashley take the same crooked Overwatch position from the high ground, moral or not. But then Derek was joined at the apartment he lived in with Ashley, and two of his work colleagues had arrived to help him collect the last boxes, and Herbert his favorite chair. Liam and Cheryl. The spoilers were not wrong. Flames did ignite, and most certainly in a good way. Cheryl slyly got rid of Liam and made an excuse to hang around a little longer, just to make sure Derek didn't miss anything, like her lips. The chemistry between these two was apparent from the moment they shared the first couple of moments in their first scene. Even though Cheryl left with Derek, saying he still loved Ashley, it was taken to suggest this is not the last time we will see Cheryl. And I, for one, hope that Ashley doesn't see Derek with Cheryl and find a way to worm her way back in and flip-flop one more time. Give Ashley a new love interest and leave Derek alone to pursue happiness. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs. In the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Nov 17-21, 2025 anticipate Dany Dupree freaking out and Anita Dupree giving her blessing. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we go through what's happening the rest of this week and then we dive into what is ahead next week. On Wednesday, November 12th, we've got Dany ready to leave and head to the West Coast for the Forrester Creations perfume shoot that she and her hubby, Andre Richardson, are supposed to be doing. Anita gives Dany a lucky memento of hers. I think it's a lucky penny that she said always helped her sing well when she had to perform. She's getting ready to say bye to her parents before her trip. Pam texts them good luck as Andre is packing for the LA trip. He is surprised when Vernon Dupree and Anita come home with Dany. They want to talk to him and they have a lot of kind words for Andre. A very happy Anita and Vernon officially welcome Andre to the Dupree family. They thought Dany marrying Andre was a mistake, but now they think that he's brought back Dany's fire. Andre does admit he kind of spiraled a bit after his parents died, but he's settled now. He's happy and doing great with his marriage. Dany's parents leave, and she offers Andre the chance to back out of the Forrester Creations photo shoot. Looks like he doesn't want to. At the airport, Andre sends Dany a selfie, and it freaks her out for some reason, and she abruptly says the trip is off. Eva Thomas is telling Dana Leslie Thomas over breakfast that she flamed Catherine Cat Richardson because she was trashing her for calling Dr. Ted Richardson dad. Eva is complaining that Cat looks down on her and asks Leslie to please stop throwing herself at Ted. But of course, she won't stop, and Leslie thinks she'll be back with Ted soon. Jan Morgan joins them and says, Ashley Morgan broke up with Derek Baldwin because he was hiding his recovery. Leslie talks about Derek's shady move, but Eva says her mom has no room to talk about anybody's shady moves. Eva asks Jan when they're alone, please don't encourage Leslie to chase Ted. But Jan foolishly thinks Leslie only wants to be friends with Ted, and Eva says, no. Kat complains to Ted that Eva is taking her place. Ted says, love's not a pie. There's enough to go around no matter how many people have some. Kat says Eva is not her equal, and Ted shouldn't treat them the same. He says Eva was cheated out of growing up with him as her dad. Kat keeps trashing Eva to him, but Ted thinks she's changed and that he's the one to blame for the family breaking up on Beyond the Gates. Kat trashes her again, talking about how she slept with Tom Navarro. In defense of Eva, Tomas did say they were broken up. I think he's more to blame than her, but still, sisters before misters. So I get it. Kat says that Eva's making Ted look like Boo Boo the Fool. Ted says he loves Kat, but Eva is not going anywhere and is his daughter. Kat says, well, not my sister, and I won't ever trust her. Ted sees Jan, Leslie, and Eva at the Fairmont Crest Club and thanks Leslie for donating to cover surgery for that needy patient. Jan's impressed, and Leslie takes the chance to hold Ted's hand. Ashley and Naomi Hamilton Hawthorne are packing up Derek's stuff and joking about throwing out his ugly recliner. Ashley talks about running to Andre, who's now falling in love with Dany. Naomi says Ashley can still go out and explore life without Andre, and Ashley jokes that she's crushing on Naomi's new stepdad. Ashley seems to be more upset about losing a chance at Andre than losing Derek since she broke up with him. Meanwhile, he's at the hospital, getting out of the wheelchair and up on a walker, and Shanice Johnson is very impressed. Derek tells her that Ashley found him standing and dumped him for lying and hiding his recovery. Shanice is kind of like, "Told you so." Derek sees Ashley at the hospital. She's glad he's progressing, but doesn't want to talk to him or hang out. Shanice follows Ashley and confesses that yes, she knew Derek was getting better, but HIPAA and all that, she couldn't tell her. After that, Derek heads over to Ashley's place to get his boxes from Naomi so that Ashley doesn't come home to them. On Thursday, November 13th, we've got Vernon worried his secret will be outed. He is again meeting on the sly with Sharon. I think this time they're either at Orphans or Uptown. It all looks very dodgy, but I think this is about the song that Vernon is writing for the holidays to surprise Anita. I don't think he's banging Sharon behind her back. I mean, that'd be soapy, but I don't think it's happening. Dr. Nicole Dupree Richardson says yes to something that Ted asks about, but thinks there's going to be fallout from it. This could be about the Winterfest Gala, and I wonder if Ted's going to tell Nicole how unglued Kat is coming over Eva and the dad thing. Derek is already rebounding before Ashley, which is ironic. There's a coworker that's checking Derek out, maybe a lady firefighter or an EMT. Plus, things are really awkward when Kat and Bradley Smitty Smith talk. He doesn't like what Martin Richardson did, and he already told him that he needs to let Samantha go back to work for Chelsea Hamilton. But the dads definitely don't want Samantha to have a key to the studio, so she's not over there boinking Nathan on the sly. Andre and Dany make a big decision. They are headed off for their honeymoon trip, but I wonder if they will skip the photo shoot or do both that and the honeymoon in Los Angeles. On Friday, November 14th, we've got Vanessa McBride telling Joey he's addicted, and he casually says that he loves her, and Vanessa's jaw drops. Also, she's reminded of her dead hubby Doug. In that vein, Vanessa helps out a friend. I don't know if somebody's gambling and Vanessa wants them to stop. Joey busts Randy in a lie and wants to know why he fibbed, and it may be about the Hayley Lawson fling thing, because remember, she told Joey a whole other story. Anita has to calm Leslie down. She may be upset about the Winterfest Barbara tie-in. We'll see. Naomi and Jacob Hawthorne have dinner with Bill Hamilton and Hayley, and find out something startling. I wonder if it's about the new summer home or about Isaiah coming to see him about the contract. We'll see. The week of November 17th through the 21st, we're going to catch up with Dany and Andre on their honeymoon. I do wonder if we're going to get crossover episodes of them shooting the Forrester Creation perfume ads, either on Beyond the Gates or on Bold and the Beautiful, or if they're really smart, maybe on both to tie people from one to the other. Kat continues angrily simmering about Eva's growing closeness to Ted, but she's putting other relationships at risk by refusing to acknowledge that she has a sister. Like it or not, she doesn't have to be friends with her. But, you know, in Ted's mind, Kat's not better than Eva. But she's never going to change that princess's perspective. Tomas doesn't like it. Chelsea doesn't like it, but she wasn't going to say too much about it. Nicole may have an interesting perspective if Kat opens up to her mom about this. Eva warms up to Isaiah Hawthorne, and I'm hoping Tomas sticks with Kat and doesn't come sniffing around Eva Gain. Nobody needs that. Leading into the Thanksgiving holidays, I wonder if Ted's going to spend it with Eva and Leslie, and maybe Peaches, since Nicole and the Dupree are not going to want him or them at the table. There's more of Derek sparking with his coworker, and questions of where this leaves Ashley. I mean, not a lot of single people. There's Randy. There's a new guy coming soon, played by hunky Greg Vaughn. We'll see. The Dupree's big charity Winterfest Gala is coming soon, and we've got more planning to see on that. I'm very interested to see if Leslie is going to be butting in. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, November 12th, confirm that Anita and Vernon have a chat with Andre. Meanwhile, Ted tries to get through to his daughter, and more. Read on as soap opera news breaks it all down. Things are heating up for Andre Richardson, who's finally settling into married life with Dany. What once started as complicated, thanks to his past with Ashley and her new chapter with Derek, has now turned into something real. Andre's falling in love with his wife, and honestly, it's about time. But with that comes a big step: facing Anita and Vernon, Dany's parents, for a long overdue conversation. They love their daughter, no question, but now that Andre has her heart, it's time to prove he deserves both. Meanwhile, Dany's riding high on excitement. She's about to make a major comeback, a return to modeling. Well, sort of. Dany's got a Forrester Creations photo shoot coming up, and she's in full-on prep mode. Elsewhere, other parents are in their own worlds. Ted is doing his best to reach his daughter, while Leslie can't help but gloat about hers. Kat, however, isn't exactly thrilled, especially as her dad grows closer to his other daughter. And Leslie? She's glowing with pride over Eva. But not everyone's feeling the love. Derek is leaning on Shanice as he tries to pick up the pieces after Ashley ended their engagement and walked away. It's hard to feel too bad for him, though. This one's on him. Ashley's reeling from betrayal and rejection. The man she loved lied to keep her, and the one she hoped to reconnect with turned her down. Now, she's left wondering what's next. And maybe, just maybe, it's time for her to finally put herself first. Look for Naomi to help her move on. Beyond the Gates spoilers indicate the CBS soap just released its preview video for the week of November 10 to 14th, and there are some bombshells on the horizon. What's set to unravel in Fairmont Crest over the next 5 days? Read more below. The Beyond the Gates promo for next week opens with Bill Hamilton meeting Isaiah Hawthorne in his office as Hayley watches on. The men shake hands as Isaiah asks Bill if Hayley's his niece, which is when the attorney clarifies that she's his wife. A close-up of Hayley's face, looking coy, is shown as she gives Isaiah a flirty stare. As the scenes shift, Hayley talks to someone unknown on the phone, presumably her cousin, Randy Parker, and tells him she's on a side mission, getting to know a police chief's fit and fine youngest son. Looks like Hayley now has her eyes on Isaiah. Over at Uptown, Sharon Winger and Vernon Dupree have another secret meeting as Sharon marvels, "Look at you," when he walks to the table. A clip of Vernon is shown as he specifically states that Anita Dupree can't know the two are meeting. What is Anita's fellow articulate sister and husband up to? As the BTG promo video for the week of November 10th rolls on, Vanessa McBride is shown next, while at the casino as she questions Joey Armstrong, stating, "You're addicted?" The casino owner replies, "If I didn't love you," which is when Vanessa asks, almost excitedly, "What did he say?" As the preview comes to an end, the final scene that is shown is between Andre Richardson and Dany Dupree, as Dany states, "And the honeymoon begins in 3 to 2 1. Andre pulls Dany in for a kiss, and the two embrace. D'Andre hurdled over a ton of obstacles this week, as Andre rejected Ashley Morgan's attempt to leave Dany and pursue a relationship with her. It looks as if Andre's falling in love with Dany, but how long will this blissful feeling between the two last? Are you excited about the week of November 10 to 14? Share your thoughts. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out CTS often for the best Beyond the Gates updates, spoilers, and news. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you!